Okay, getting the first pick. Oh, get three, Pyro, get three with the
Blade Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Welcome to the opening match of Overwatch Tranquility Tournament. This is the first featured match of our 5th season, and it is going to be an incredibly interesting one. From the Harmony tier, we have our returning Season 4 champions. We have Modify and Slipstream, a new team with a lot to prove. And we're going to see if they can do that tonight. I am K-Wing, and I am joined by Captain Jack. Do you think that Slipstream is going to show up the reigning champions, or is Modify going to start their season off strong, Jack?
Well, if I know one thing, it's no matter what the outcome, blame Bard. That's the only answer that we have to all of this. So if Modify wins, it might be Bard's fault, but if they lose, we all know it's definitely Bard's fault. But needless to say, despite the memeing, Modify definitely is going to do an incredible job, or at least the fans seem to think so. Looking at the prediction and polls channel earlier today, it seems that Modify voted 49-17 to take this victorious. And as you know, during the Iris podcast last night, quite a few of the casters decided that they would also go for Modify either in a 3-1 or a complete 4-0 shutout. So it's really going to be up to Slipstream to see if they can slip of the tongue already to see if they can show up Modify this time around. I mean, Modify is coming in with half the roster that they ended Season 4 with. So we are going to see some changes in the team to begin with, but they still got their coach working in the back line, trying to help them out. So I'm going to be interested to see, will Modify continue to hold that title, or will Slipstream just kind of slip in and find victory tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Modify, I mean, as you said, they only have half of their roster returning, and they only have 6 people on their roster. They have one roster that they're going to use through rain, through snow, through sleet, and it's going to be interesting to see if they are going to show up in the form that they did in Season 4, winning their Harmony Tier Championship. On our first map here, which is Oasis.
All right. I do want to give a special shout out to one of our players tonight, Instante, also resubscribing with their tier 1 sub for the last 2 months. Thank you so much for doing that. If you love what you see here at the Overwatch Tranquility community, make sure to hit that heart, punch that bell, and hit that sub button. $4.99 or Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime subscription will give you access to some amazing emotes as well as support our incredible community. As a matter of fact, I just resubbed today as well for the last 4 months. So a little bit goes a long way. And if you don't have it, just hitting that heart will just show us how much you care anyways, as well as punching that bell. because then it notifies you when we're online. Always an important aspect. So I think without further ado, once the teams are ready to go, I guess we can go ahead and start off with introductions for our teams. I'll go ahead and take Modify. You want to take Slipstream?
That sounds good.
All right. So for our starting lineup, we have Wit Mitten and Super Polar Bear coming in on the tanks. Hagel and Jofus coming in on the DPS. And Insante and I might get this name wrong. It's Bard. Oh, Bard. Of course.
That's it.
How could I forget? Bard coming in on the supports for Modify. Who do we got coming in for Slipstream?
On the side of Slipstream, we have Cajun Wise Guy and Peter Panning. On the we have, if I look better, we have Cajun Wise Guy, and we have on the flex role, we have Peter Panning on the support. We have Snurk and Bamboozle, as well as Atomic Devil and Avalix. I'm not exactly sure the roles that these guys are going to be taking, but I think something might have happened with a disconnect.
All right. Yeah, it looks like we're having some issues, but they do have a sub in the wings, so they're going to go ahead and come in for the first round as we head to Oasis for our first map.
That's being Atomic Devil, of course.
And such a great place to start out with, too. We're headed to University. Definitely a lot of different setups that you can use here. Taking the high ground advantage is one good way to start. The one thing that I think trips people up is that it looks so much like Well, in a sense, because you want to pick someone to boop or hook or pull people into that hole, but you forget that unlike Well, it's just a delay. It's delaying the inevitable, because you will have to fight them again. Now, obviously, you have to fight them on Well again as well, but you got the respawn time. But it only takes a couple seconds, vice like 10 whole seconds, to walk up to the top and re-engage in that fight. So it will be interesting to see what kind of setup the teams are going to come in with. It looks like we have the double shield coming out from Modify, with Bard taking on the Tracer and Hagel on the Ash. Whereas for Slipstream, they're going to be taking on the traditional Rhine Zarya with Atomic Devil and Avilix on the Soldier Tracer. So let's see what they got.
Should absolutely be doing a lot of work with the range that she has over Soldier 76 and Tracer there. We get into this first map first, and it does look like you have Slipstream getting point presence. The point hasn't unlocked yet, but it's very, very important. Oh, charging in, Insanity takes the point by force, says they will not just walk off the point, and it is a Rhine v Rhine swinging match here, and Heigl finds the pick onto Peter Panning, but immediately a shatter coming out from Insanity. She's charging that so fast, the point hasn't even been flipped to one side or another yet, and already he got that shatter.
Instante already with that shatter. Just allowing a Rhine to swing is never a good thing to be doing. As you can see, even Jofus and Bard have their ultimates online, with Bamboozle and Snurk following up on that as well for the side of Slipstream. They're coming back in for the next fight. Let's see if that shatter can land.
Always a big X factor. The pulse bomb comes out, doesn't find anything. The window comes out. The shatter finds two, finds Insante and Vitamin and Witterman, and both will go down. That is two big picks on the side of Slipstream, and it's not over yet though, as some picks were found. But Jofus going down. That is crucial, as there's no support on point for Modify, and that is going to be point flip for Slipstream as soon as these staggers are finished off. Heigl just going to jump off, respawn, get it over with, not be stalled out. And Avalix does get the pulse bomb out, does not find a pick on Insante. And gets picked off for it. Pushes a little too aggressively there, and that's going to be very crucial. One DPS down already for Slipstream. And the rally again just allowing Modified to push in a lot farther. The grab finds a lot of people in it, but the immortality comes out, and Bob doing a lot of work. The Violet comes out, finds Hegel, but it does not look like it will do much.
So there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to break down from that fight right there. There was just the fight just re-engaged so quickly after the first one, and it was great timing there. You know, Instante getting out of position with the tackle, allowed Bamboozle, should have known that they had the Shatter online ready to use, ended up taking him out of the match. And then when they saw the re-engage right there, we ended up seeing the pick come in onto Atomic Devil, who is now swapped over to the Junk.
Yeah, the Junkrat there, that is very brutal in short ranges. The Gravitic Flux comes out, catches both the tanks, very low here, and Bamboozle is going to go down with that Shatter not coming out, and that is no shield to protect them from Instante's Shatter. And that is another team fight win on the side of Modify there.
And that is great timing as well. Using the Gravitic Flux to use up all your cooldowns and then have Instante come in with the Shatter is just going to go ahead and solidify.
I don't even know if anyone's going to touch point, and that is it.
Ended up getting shut down right there. Even if Bamboozled could have made it, Instante was there to block the doorway. That's going to be 1-0 for the side of Modify here on Oasis as we head to our next map here. And for some reason I don't know why I am blanking on this one. This is City Center. There we go.
Yeah. This is.
I was like, the cars. Everybody loves the cars. Why can't I remember?
Yeah. Those cars on the right side of the map are a very, very important feature in that they are an instant kill no matter what. And we see coming out here, we see a Symmetra on the side of Slipstream there. We have the Farm Mercy on the side of Modify with Bard on the far there. Interesting, there's not a lot of hit scan for Slipstream to counter that, but Widowman does get hit, and Instante finds 2 with a Fire Strike, and that is just an instant team fight win for Modify. Just a matter of when they cap point.
They got to be coming in with that hit scan. Atomic Devil looks like they're going to be swapping over from that Junkrat because now they've got 2 issues to deal with. They got the double shield that has been provided by Modify that is trying to protect everyone on the ground, but now you got the Far Mercy in the air as well, and it looks like they're changing up their entire strategy actually with Caliente and Bamboozle switching over to the Rhine Winston, which is definitely an interesting pick, but maybe they can get in that back line, take down those healers, and it'll work out for them. With that dynamite from Hegel, that's going to start things off real spicy.
Absolutely there. We do have Winston flanking around there. Bamboozle forces Hegel up the high ground, which is a crucial thing. Ash uncontested on a high ground can just dish out the damage. Bard coming in with a barrage there, finds 2 onto Ryan and Brigitte, and that is going to be another fight win for Modify.
And they are just locking down this entire space. By having control of the skies, you definitely provide a lot of use for your team. Holding these 2 chokes right here, Atomic Devil isn't able to get through to be able to do some damage against this Far Mercy. And then you've got Hegel, who has been on the high ground this entire time, just throwing down dynamites, just throwing in bullets, and is going to continue to hold this choke for them unless they make their way around.
Is going to, the Bob, crucially, into the back line, is going to do a little bit of damage as they approach there. Bard finds Bamboozle, but Ablex finds a pick onto Insanity. That Reaper shotgun blast being so good against these tanks, but Bard finds another pick onto Snurk, and Hegel onto Atomic Devil. And just now, the Immortality Field goes down. Watching this Baptiste's Immortality Field are always going to be important, as the Shadow is going to come out. It will find 2, but Bard will lock it down before anything can happen and Modify cleanly coming away with the win on Oasis there.
Well, as I said in the beginning, folks, I said whichever way it goes, you gotta blame Bard, and right now Bard is just showing up to the fight, as well as the rest of Modify right here. We're looking at the initial fight in this play of the game. Big old shatter coming in, ends up getting 2, and the picks start following in after that to give Instante that quadruple kill. Just absolutely beautiful right there. I have to say, for the side of Slipstream, maybe the opt-in to the Diva vice the Winston may have worked out better for you. Having the dive character was definitely something that could have been useful, but with Diva not able to help, without a Diva to help take control of the Pharah and give some room for your soldier to breathe, to try to take down Mercy as well, makes it a little difficult for them to do the job that they are trying to do. So we'll see if Slipstream kind of adjusts their strategy going into the next map, which they will end up picking. Which it looks like they have already chosen Volskaya Industries for our assault map. So Volskaya again, very large, very open map area. So if you see Bard coming back out on that Pharah, it's going to be very pertinent that Slipstream pick every single hero that they can to try to take Bard out of the sky.
Yeah, absolutely. Bard on the Tracer and the Pharah got 69% kill participation in that last map, and that is just an absolutely incredible performance at that point. When you're participating in that many kills throughout a team fight, it's a sign of a very good Tracer and a very good Pharah, especially since he wasn't playing the Pharah all the time he was playing the Tracer. And going into Volskaya, like you said, the openness of Volskaya, there's not a lot of cover from above. So Pharah can just absolutely rain down onto a team, and if they do not have the ability or the heroes to counter her, she can absolutely swing a team fight.
That is true. Want to give a special shout out to Mr. Nipples12 for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. I read it exactly as it is, folks. I'm not no shenaniganry from Captain Jack here, all right? And to Enigma33_OW for raiding us with a party of 2. Currently, the stream is up to 73 viewers. Wow. You all are coming out in droves for our first match tonight, and we always appreciate it. So be sure before you leave, hit that heart, punch that bell. If you can hit that sub button, that would help out too, but not absolutely necessary. Looking in the chat, it looks like Solidary Bird saying Instante is a boss, and Goaty Snake saying Modify Pog Champs. So right now, Modified truly is kind of looking very strong against Slipstream. The only thing that I would say is different is that Slipstream, at very least, if they haven't already, has the ability to look back on Modify's previous progress from Season 4. So if they didn't take advantage of that going into this first match, I would definitely recommend going back into the VOD review. You might not be able to get kind of a team aspect since we're only working with half the team this season from Season 4, but you can at least look at the people, the individuals that are still here, like Bard, and look at and see what their play styles are. Try to get an idea of what your advantages would be going into a fight against them. But right now, they're already showing to be incredibly flexible. I mean, to be a good team, you really got to be flexible, and Modify is pulling that off right now. So once our teams are ready to go, it looks like we are just waiting for Slipstream, and they are ready to go as well. We're going to be headed into Volskaya Industries.
Yeah, absolutely. And interesting, on 2CP in general, on these assault maps like Volskaya, you have the possibility for the attacking team to go on the symmetric comps to teleport to interesting places. Either in Volskaya, you could go on to the left side and teleport onto high ground, or you could teleport almost directly to point onto the little hut overlooking point with the mini health pack in it. And it does look like Slipstream are going to be trying that with Avalex on the Symmetra. We did see Avalex on Symmetra. We did see him on the Symmetra, even on the control map, which is another popular place for Symmetra. But it's interesting to see how Modify is going to respond to the Symmetra comp, and specifically what sort of brand of Symmetra comp they're going to be running. Are they going to, like I said, TP over left, TP to high ground, TP across somewhere, or somewhere even crazier? There have been a bunch of interesting combinations that have been found with Mei and Symmetra and getting teleported into weird places.
That is true. It is all about the angles, and with Instante coming in now on the Orisa this time around, it looks like they are trying their best to do damage over distance while protecting this choke, which will work out for them.
Teleporter comes up on top. Oh, but the halts almost everyone off. The Symmetra does put up the sentry turrets, and immediately Modify is now playing like they're attacking the point. And Slipstream has this point presence and has this power to just keep Modify off the point, and that is all they need to do. They don't need to push. They just need to prevent Modify from pushing, and that is going to be the winning strat for them with 6 minutes to go left, and Widdeman getting caught out late in that is going to be very crucial. However, the almost immediate spawns on the side of Modify, excuse me, are going to negate that late pick. And this is the advantage of these 2 CP maps, is that and Bard with 2 there. The Shatter comes in, finds 1, but just the amount of, with the picks coming in, Bard finding a 3rd pick, and just with how close these spawns are from Modify, it just is the difference.
And that is something that's really going to change this up. Instante coming in on the Orisa has now made it so they cannot be aggressive back to Slipstream, and that is showing to be the bread and butter of Slipstream right now. They want to get in, they want to do a lot of damage, and they want to take people down as quickly as possible. And that's exactly what we saw there on Point Alpha. They were just able to get in, take the space despite being halted down, and be able to take it quickly. And now with 5 minutes remaining on the clock, even though they weren't able to take it this time around, they're coming in with quite a few ultimates to make it happen this time.
Yeah, 3 ultimates, both support ultimates, and the Primal Rage on the side of Slipstream. But the barrage from Bard is going to be crucial, and as I say that, he finds 2 with it, as well as 1 with the primary fire, and Bard has just been a delight to watch on this Pharah, raining down justice.
That is pretty much what Bard has been doing indeed, and as we saw, it was an immediate switch as they went back to objective number 2. Just because they realized once again they didn't have the hit scan, they didn't have the Diva to try to combat with the power that's coming out from Bard on that Pharah right now, and they're going to be having that same issue once again. If they can't figure out how to deal with Bard, they're going to have a difficult time pushing into this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And the ultimates no longer in Slipstream's favor. Oh, a deadly combo there coming out with the Amplification Matrix and the Supercharger. Absolutely supercharging everyone's damage, and an almost immediate team fight win. I could barely even list the kills before they were all gone.
That's true. When you got Valkyrie, Bongos, and the Window all pumping damage into your team, I mean, you could even have Mercy just pulling out damage with her pistol, and that is just the end of it all. There is just so much power behind that fight, but they have now left themselves vulnerable because now the Window is open on the other side with a Blossom and a Coalescence in the wings. This might be their chance to take this, despite the Pharah Mercy still holding strong.
But a good opening pick from Hagel, getting onto Snurk, and the Death Blossom does come in, but the Immortality Field from Jophus is going to come in, and Bard gets 1 with the barrage there, and finds 1 with the primary fire, and Bard, with his Mercy Pocket, is going to be the last defender of this point. But again, the spawns that come in are just so fast for Modify. And even though the picks that came in, they were a little bit in favor of Slipstream, the closer spawns just meant that Modify had more people able to touch the point much quicker.
Yep, and that's the biggest issue that they had. The one person that they lost in that fight before they were able to touch the objective was a Velix on that soldier. Without having that hit scan to help deal with Bard and Whitmitten, it was just a feeding frenzy at that point. But now we see Cajun swapping over to the Ash, and immediately Bard right out of the sky.
Cutter does come in, doesn't find anything. Maybe we're trying to cancel the Mercy Res, but it does not work out. But Cajun Wise Guy gets another pick onto Insante, and Cajun Wise Guy getting 3 here. And that is a lot of picks coming in, but Hagel finds a pick onto Avalex. That is what I often call the miracle pick that you need to maybe come back on assault points. Is just one pick to make the enemy team go down 5 to 6. But it does look like a lot of picks coming in for Slipstream. But the barrage coming in from Bard finds one onto Atomic Devil, and again, these closer spawns from Modify win them the overall team fight. Barely, with 85% on the side of Slipstream, only 15% to a full capture, but that is crucial for Modify to not let them capture the second point.
Can I just point out the fact that Cajun came in with 0 ultimate and had Bob by the end of that fight?
Yeah, that was
obviously
dominant.
A sleeper hit scan in the wings right now, trying to let Avalex pull do their job, but obviously had to pick it up right there, and it's just popping off right now. They were able to get 2 ticks, which puts them in a really good position. But Hagel does have the Bob ready to throw out, and
here it comes out, and it gets Avalex immediately, and Bamboozle a second. Bob really doing something here and winning this team fight, getting 3 off of the Bob, and Bard also getting a casual 2K as well. It's going to be very, very tough here. Bamboozle trying to come in on this Wrecking Ball, but it is not going to work. 85% is the percent to beat on point B for Modify here.
And I have to say that was a pretty good job from the side of Slipstream. They did a great job trying to answer to the Far Mercy, and I hope that they decide to keep Cajun on that Ash. It looks like that is the pick that they're going to make for their defense, because as strong as Bard has been on that Far, you need somebody that can reliably shut that down going into this this next round. I will say, though, if you haven't played experimental mode, which has been messing with control structure, it almost seems odd the way that they've been doing it. Essentially, if you haven't played yet, it is set up in a way that each round is just the control point itself. So you capture point alpha, you have 6 minutes on the clock to start out with, you grab point alpha, and then the round ends. And for me, like, that wouldn't make sense in this point in time, because if you're able to capture the objective first time around, like we saw from Slipstream, that's all that ultimate percentage immediately lost before you're able to use that. And maybe that's what they're trying to end with this, is trying to end the roll into second point. But personally, I wouldn't see how that would actually work out for them. I mean, it just makes the game, I guess it makes the game a little bit longer, but it doesn't make it nearly as fun when you work up all that percentage and you're just a little shy, you grab the objective, and then, oh, well, now you gotta start all over again.
Yeah. We're gonna see Cajun Wise Guy with the Mercy Pocket there. Is going to get knocked off of the high ground, but is going to Coach Gun back up, drops off the high ground, and gets the pick on the Bard immediately. A crucial piece of utility for Modify going down, but Hagel getting the pick on the Cajun is very, very important. But oh, Snurk is going to res, but will give his life for it. And already. Hagel getting another pick onto Bamboozle, and that is going to be a day at the shooting range for Hagel, getting a bunch of these picks, and Insante getting 2 of his own. And that is a quick first point for Modify, going to have a lot of time to attack point B, but you do have to remember, Slipstream also had a lot of time to attack point B, and they did not end up finishing it.
See, right now I feel like Modify is putting themselves at a huge disadvantage. First off, they took so long to capture point Alpha because they were trying to push in onto point Bravo. You see the Bob now on the point, but immediately getting shut down by Atomic Devil on that Diva.
Yeah. Bard tries to barrage there, but Snurk gets picked off again, and they're still pushing in Modify, getting the picks onto Peter Panning, and Bard getting a 2K off of this primary fire, and another Bard, and it's going to be hard to see if anyone can touch on the side of Slipstream, and they will not, and that will be map 2 for Modify, going up 2-0.
That is absolutely huge right there. I gotta be honest, even though Modify have shown themselves time and again to be incredibly strong, I felt that being a 3v6 in the initial fight was not going to work out well for them. You know, it took so long to capture Objective Alpha, but they were confident in their abilities. Even after Bard got taken out of the sky mid-barrage, they were able to bring it back once again. With the strength of their team, they were really doing an incredible job of working together, and that's probably why we're seeing Modify already setting the line in the sand from their victory during Season 4. Just doing incredible work right there. Looking in the chat, it looks like people are agreeing that the swap to the Ash was very good for the side of Slipstream, and we did see that with Cage and Wise Guy on that Ash showing to be incredibly powerful, but it was essentially like a 1v2 fight the entire time. It was Cajun versus Bob and Hagel. Because every time you saw Bard go down, Cajun immediately went down after because Hagel had them in their sights as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what the second half holds. We are going to throw it to a quick 10-minute break, and then we'll see if Slipstream can go ahead and bring it back in the second half.
Absolutely.
I'm NPC, the Tranquility Hammer. Have you lost Overwatch games due to smurfs, leavers, or throwers? Have you been on the same team as Bard? You may be entitled to compensation.
I used to be in silver. Thanks to NPC and the Overwatch Tranquility community gear, I'm now a gold Moira player, spawn camping Ice, the Season 3 Discord tier MVP. Thanks, NPC!
Go to my website right now and let me fight for discounts for you. Go to owtranquility.org and click store, or go to shop.spreadshirt.com/owtranquility.
I've asked to remain anonymous for my safety, but I'm an admin in an Overwatch community. It can be exhausting work. But these shirts, they're so cheap, I have shirts to burn. And now thanks to NPC, I can own the Zoomers, and I can do it in style.
I'm going to hammer down prices of Tranquility merchandise this week. Up to 15%. If you place your order on July 29th or July 30th, you'll get 15% off your entire order. Go to my website now to get the SR and the Tranquility gear that you deserve. Tranquility merchandise does not guarantee victories in Overwatch or increase in skill rating. 15% off, valid on orders placed on July 29th and 30th at Spreadshirt.com.
Above the stars, I am so free. I see the truth, but the view is all I am. It's all I do. I feel as if my only friend is my guitar. The best thing for a happy dog above the stars. But back on Earth, I was a flower waiting to bloom. I felt so lucky to be there under the moon. I took a ride into the sky.
And we are back with our first feature match of the season, of Season 5. We have Modify and Slipstream. Before we went to break, we had Modify going up 2-0 against Slipstream, showing a pretty coming out with a pretty dominant showing on both of our maps. And Slipstream, it's going to be a hard road for them to come back. They're going to have to try and start a reverse sweep here with our next map. Do you think they can do it, Captain Jack?
I totally think that it's possible. They just gotta. One of the things that they have neglected to focus down, or I guess successfully tried to focus down, as we saw near the end of Volskaya, was just taking Bard out of that dang sky. It's
Mhm.
like that. It's like that. It's like that fly that's always around your living room that you always think that you hit, but nope, just comes back again like a couple minutes later, and you just can't get rid of the pesky thing. That's what Bard's acting like right now. And so Slipstream, we saw towards the end, Cajun Wise Guy taking on the Ash was able to focus down Bard pretty successfully most of the time, but then because of the lack of defenses that Cajun had to work around, we also saw Hagel immediately taking Cajun out soon after that, and then Bard comes back into the fight quickly, and then it's all kind of downhill from there. And so the team really has to kind of work together to build around, if they want Cajun to be able to focus Bard out as much as possible, they have to give that support to Cajun as well. But it looks like this time around, Bard opting in on the defense for the Junkrat. Vice the Vara with Whitman coming in on the Brig, which is an interesting choice, seeing as they're not really playing a brawly composition.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting pick for them. But for the attack, even though they can switch it at any time and totally call me out, they are going for the double sniper composition. So they're looking with that double shield to do a lot of damage over distance. And with the way that normally on Numbani, teams are incredibly spread out on the defense, this may work out very well in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have the one sub that came in for Slipstream. We do have Red Raiju coming in on the Orisa there. Interested to see what he's going to do with this double shield comp. But we do have Bard on the Junkrat, going to be raining down on them. Not for long, he's not. Cajun Wise Guy. The switch not meant to end the oops coming out into the match from Bard. Oh. We don't even have to meme it. He just memes it himself.
Yep.
And Atomic Devil finding the pick on a Jophus as well. That is just an amazing pick off. But Hagel getting another pick as well on Bamboozle. Looks like Modifier are going to be losing this war on the in this choke. Just to say that Hagel is pick on Cajun Wise Guy, but Cajun Wise Guy burns down Hagel from the beyond the grave. And it's going to be really interesting to see Bard getting another pick off. Getting two, and it does look like Slipstream are going to have to pull off here.
So the issue with the double sniper is that you really have to get your angles well. Cajun immediately getting that first pick made it very hard for Atomic Devil to try to get into position beforehand to also get a pick along with them. And so it's going to be hard for them to try to push into this. I feel like using similar to what we see on Modify, using the Ash for the long distance, and then also using like a Junkrat or a Reaper to break down those shields quickly would really work out in Slipstream's favor.
Absolutely, and just going into the small choke, Bard is so powerful there. We see the Rip Tower coming out. We're going to see if it can do any damage. Coming in straight on, finds Peter Panning on the Mercy. That is a very crucial and a very important pick, and it does look like the rest of Slipstream are going to reset with Atomic Devil and Snurk both jumping off the map to reset.
Yeah, but going for that quick reset right there, it looks like they are going to be coming back as the Widow after all, which again is just going to make it incredibly difficult for them if they cannot both get into that backline to get those angles that they are looking for. It's going to be really hard for Slipstream to push into this. And remember, this is their last opportunity to take this match. Obviously, we're going to play out the 4 maps in total for map differential, but without that, it's going to be kind of difficult. The bongo's going out, though.
Yeah. A lot of ultimates coming out, but Hagel and Jokus both finding picks onto the 2 tanks of Slipstream, and Bard finding the pick on Atomic Devil means that this push is over for Slipstream.
Yeah, I am not exactly for certain what they're looking to do here. It's just, you know, they are trying. It looks like Atomic Devil did hear me through my ESPN. Switching over to that junk, you need that shield break against the double shield. You gotta have kind of the yin and yang of the team. You gotta have the person to take down the shield, and you gotta have the person to click heads. And that is what has been working for Modify so far. But they are taking the low ground approach when control of the high ground is to Modify.
Yeah. Hagel finally pick on Bamboozle. The Gravitic Flux coming in, but it doesn't find any picks for Slipstream, and that is another lost push. Cajun Wise Guy is going to knock Bard off the edge, but with how little time there is left, we are going to see Slipstream switching to stall pace. We're going to see Snurk and Bamboozle both switching on to quick heroes like Winston and the Lucio in order to try and touch the point and trigger that overtime that they so desperately need. Oh, that was crucial. They are going to trigger overtime, though, despite that incredible rock coming in from Super Polar Bear. Atomic Devil finds his pick off onto Hagel, so that could be something. Slipstream seems like they're finding the fix. Atomic Devil does go down, but this is a Riptide from Bard. This could be crucial here. Finds 2 Bard. The Bob in the corner doing work. Super Polar Bear. It's going to be a scrappy fight on the point with 1 tank and 1 support. Super Polar Bear, though, the last hope for Modify, goes down, but the Bob does rush in on the point and doesn't land on the point. Oh no. Going to sit in that room over there, dreaming of what could be. He had landed on the point instead of in that little room.
Not over just yet, though.
And Tante is going to try and come in, and Bard going onto this Pharah, that we've been talked so much about, finding the pick onto Cajun Wise Guy. That's crucial, but the point does go to Slipstream, and they have hope pushing forward.
And that ended up working out in their favor, and I don't know if it was just the chaos of it all or what, but Modify had to invest so many different abilities to try to take care of the Bob in their backline, the flank that was coming through different directions, through the side, through the main road, just made it so hard for them to hold on to that point. So the fact that they held on to it as long as they did worked out very well for them. But now we're in the streets phase. Let's see if they can hold the cart right where it stands.
Absolutely, and trading picks with Snurk and Bard, but Snurk, a very important character on that Baptiste, providing a lot of healing over Bard there, and this is just a one fight for Modify, with Bamboozle being in that backline, very, very separated from the rest of his team there. Switching off to the Ryan. Oh, instead of the Winston, so we now have a double shield on both sides, but instead we have a Sigma on the side of Modify, and we have the Reinhardt on the side of Slipstream. So I'm interested to see how that will play out. And as we go into this team fight here, Red Raiju does go down, but Atomic Devil finds Hagel, and the res does come in for Peter Panning. He is going to be safe there. And the Gritty Fluck comes in, catches 2, 3, but the Immortality Field is there to save them. The Bob comes in right to the center, and oh
no!
Kicks.
Oh no! The Bob gets swooped off, but like the edge of their grandma wolf toes, just holding on to that ledge right there to keep doling out damage. Even though they were still saved there, I don't think it would have mattered by the end of it all. But it looks like Bard going for that sneaky barrage there, but already getting found out by Snurk.
Yeah, absolutely. Bard's barrages have already been incredible to watch, and Cajun Wise Guy already down. Oh, the res is going to attempting to come in from Peter Panning, but will get booped away by the Pharah. The Riptide does come in here, gets the Immortality Field, protecting them by Jophus, and Bard finding 2 with the barrage there. Bamboozle does find a Super Polar Bear, but I don't know if it'll be enough for them, and that will be the round going to... Well, not the round, but it will be the round ending for Slipstream. Point A taken, but 40 meters pushed into that second point there. And Modify has the point that they need to go to win this match. And it's going to be tough for Slipstream to defend this point.
And I'm going to say an unpopular opinion for all the Modify fans out there. They're just a bunch of big bullies, all right? Come on. It was the spawn of Slipstream right there, and all they were doing was continuing to hold them in spawn. I get that's the point of the game, but it's not nice to be on the other side of that, okay? But seriously, though, Modify did an incredible job holding them right there at that choke. Again, Bard having control of the high ground made all of the difference right there. And you see this on Numbani especially, that even after point A is taken, if you control this high ground without allowing the payload to push very far forward, either with snipers, with you know, like a Torb and their turret, using a Pharah or an Echo, anything that can continue to hold control of that high ground and dole in a lot of damage will essentially lock down the spawn of this objective, and it works out really well in their favor. For the defense, though, it looks like they're coming out with a Pharah Mercy of their own. which
Hmm.
typically does not work well against a Far Mercy that you're trying to counter. So the question is the goal to try to take down the rest of the team and then focus down Bard and Whitman, or are they really trying to just duel it out in the sky against the other Far Mercy?
Yeah. We do see Cajun Wise Guy is going to be on the Soldier to attempt to counter this Vara, but at such a range, Soldier isn't going to be as effective as Vara, having her infinite fall-off damage. Her rockets will do that 120 direct, whether you're 2 feet away or 2,000 feet away, and Bard immediately finds a pick onto Snark, and that is crucial. Another onto Red Raichu, and Bard just showing dominance on this Far Mercy combo, and that is a quick point A. Oh, and Hagel finding 3 as well, just demolishing the Far Mercy combo on the side of Slipstream, and it is going to be very, very hard for Slipstream to get any amount. There's 5 minutes on the clock for Modify to push at 40 meters. Just waiting for the payload to be unlocked now. And with just how aggressive that Insante is being on this Reinhardt, he's pushed past this point. And Bard finding a pick. Both the tanks going down, but Cajun Wise Guy gets 2 picks as well. But the Bob on Hagel gets both supports, and Bard finds Cajun Wise Guy, and that is just going to be map 3 for Modify.
See, I feel like Cajun, like there was a give and take on that aspect. I understand wanting to go to the Soldier if like your healers are really having to stay dedicated to the rest of your team. Oh, new animation I haven't seen yet since I haven't played the new event. Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah, it was a William Tell thing.
Yeah, but again, as you see right there, like, yeah, you can pull out the Far Mercy too and try to see if you can do damage, but Hagel was showing to be just as much of a strong force against their team as Bard and Whitman were in the sky. And so not being able to deal with both of them is causing a huge issue for them. Looking in the chat right now, it looks like we do have a current poll up. Is it winnable for Slipstream? But I guess we already have the answer to that. At this point, us in the 2-minute future, we already have the answer to what you all see. And unfortunately, Modify was indeed just too strong. They will take this map. They will take the match this evening, but we will play out the 4th map for map differential. So I guess the next question I would ask the chat, do you feel that Slipstream can bring it back, or will Modify secure their hold in Season 5, getting the full 4-0 in their match tonight against Slipstream?
Yeah, let's do some of our own predictions there. I feel like it's such a Debbie Downer saying this, but I don't think Slipstream is going to be able to come back from how much of a dominant performance that Modify has put on today. It's just been dominant is the only word that I can think of.
There really isn't a lot of other words that you could use for that, to be completely honest. And I think it just comes to countering the counters, right? You know, we saw when they unlocked Objective Alpha and started moving the payload, we saw who was it? It was, I want to say it was Atomic Devil, ended up swapping from the Winston to Rhine. And it's like, that's great. That provides your team a little bit more protection, but you still got the Far Mercy on the high ground. Like, you need something that can contest against that. So ideally, again, I would have picked the Diva to try to focus down even more so Bard on the Far Mercy. It doesn't provide you a lot for the double shield, which is an issue that you would have to take care of after Bard. But with Bard just being such a nuisance in the sky, like, you really got to dedicate a lot more to that. And it looks like our final map has been chosen. Our escort map is going to be the best place to get your kicks, Route 66.
How long did it take you to come up with that one, Jack?
I've been doing this for 2 years. The dad jokes never end, and that's an oldie, but still a goodie.
We can debate about that all night. But Route 66, a very interesting map, very different on each of the 3 sort of sections. Route 66. The first 2 pretty good for Afara, pretty open, high skybox, but getting into that 3rd point, you're in a closed building. The skybox is much shorter, much lower than when you're outside, and I'm interested to see what switches will happen when if Modify gets to point C on Route 66.
Well, Bard has been showing to be strong on other characters other than their Pharah play. We saw on the defense they were playing Junk and were holding pretty well, so we might see them swap onto that for 3rd point. But I wouldn't say that playing Pharah on point 3 of this is an unsuccessful endeavor either. I've seen many Pharahs be able to play in that low ceiling and still create a large amount of success for their team. So it's going to be all about how Bard goes in. Like, are they charging in with the rest of the team? Are they trying to take flanking positions to try to, get those picks early before they're found out and shot out of the ceiling? Those are the things that you really got to be looking out for. And I do want to apologize. I have been noticing in the chat that there has been some issues. We're kind of in a tropical storm on the East Coast, so we're doing the best that we can. Yeah. We appreciate you hanging with us. It's still been an incredible match, regardless of the tech issues.
Absolutely. We do see Bard on the Spara and Mercy combo, and just raining down again Cajun Wise Guy on the Ashe to try and take down. We do have the May coming in from Avalex, which is a choice. May is a projectile hero, not exactly my first thought when it comes to countering a Pharah Mercy combo, but can be really interesting.
It might be more so to try to control everybody on the ground by countering the Pharah Mercy. Slowing up the tanks and whatnot might actually work out for them. As the first pick comes in, Whitman does end up getting the res onto Bard, but ooh, that tackle, that's going to be huge.
Oh, but Hakel taking down the Ashe Mercy combo by himself. Just incredible. Bard finding the pick on a Red Raiju, who initially killed him with a accretion that even Bard called nuts in the match chat, which is incredible.
Oh my god, NPC, you are so silly. I am not that old. Looking in the chat saying I invented the phrase "get your kicks on Route 66." I did not, I promise. I mean, I'm old for the Zoomers, alright? I'm in my 30s, like, I get it. I'm a millennial, I'm kind of old, but I'm not that old. That's like
he didn't invent the phrase "get your kicks on Route 66." He invented Route 66. Come on, you guys. Anyway, Super Polar Bear finding the pick on the Bamboozle there. Very pushed back is Modify here, and just in the way these two teams are fighting, Super Polar Bear finding the pick on the Avalex, it's a very interesting sort of positioning in the building there to try and maybe get some solace from Bard's Pharah, but still Bard's Pharah is going to find multiple picks there.
See, the effect that they're going for is actually having the absolute opposite effect of what they're looking for. Like, yes, you could go inside of Big Girls and you can provide yourself with a lot more cover from Bard, but all you do is restrict the different angles that Bard can shoot you at. So if you are not prepared for that, they will absolutely take advantage of those little tiny holes and just keep you locked up. But
yeah,
that's matter.
Jophus, and he's going to go down immediately by Bamboozle, but Snurk going down is another crucial pick. Both main supports who are going to provide that area of effect healing are going to go down as soon as I say that. Jophus gets resurrected. The supercharger coming in from Insante. Super Polar Bear finding both tanks of Slipstream there with a very good Gravitic Flux. and a minute left for Slipstream to try and put together another push, and Cajun Wise Guy getting knocked off the side by Super Polar Bear using his primary fire. Something you don't see every day, but
just was able to get them there just at the little bit, does a little bit of knockback damage. I think they were actually just going for the fall off, and it just happened to be that Polar Bear got that credit. But nevertheless, again, they're having this issue where they're not taking care of it, taking care of the Pharah and providing support for Cajun. Bob now on the objective might help them out, though.
Oh, but Bard's Barrage comes in, finds Snurk immediately, and that is and again, that main healer going down often spells doom for the team in Overwatch, and 6 seconds, it's going to be a very, very hard job to try and even touch to trigger overtime. They will not. That'll be it. We will not get to see point 3 here. We will not get to see point 2. We are going to have 74 meters that Slipstream pushed, and Modify only needs to go that far to secure that 4-0 sweep that they need very, very good, very desperately for to show that they are going to still be in their Season 4 form, even with not as many of those Season 4 people returning.
That is true. They are showing to be a dominant force regardless of the fact that they lost players from Season 4, and it is showing tonight. So it will be interesting to see in the rest of this tournament, is there anyone that can unseat Modify here in the Harmony division? That is going to be the question that we'll be asking in the coming weeks, folks. But for this time around, we are in the final round, only 74.20 meters that the cart needs to be pushed just right in front of Big Earls for a fill-up. That's all that Modify has to do, and the lockdown for Slipstream has to start now. And it looks like we are going with the double hit scan for the DPS, which is going to work out great for trying to take down a Pharah. Not going to work out so great when Bard swaps over to Genji.
Yeah, that is just a very good choice by Bard there, knowing that they might go an all-out desperation sort of attempt to counter this Pharah. Not even going the Pharah is a very, very smart move there. And with the Ana as well, another hit scan character with those scope shots, using 3 hit scans, and as I say that Ana gets domed by the Widowmaker, and picks coming in and trading. But it does look like Modify are going to be pushing this forward a little bit. They're going to get stopped in front of Big Earls, though, as they're going to be forced to push back. And as I say that, some tanks do drop down and get into a little melee right in front of Big Earls.
The issue that they're having right now is the fact that they are separated. When you're on top of Big Girls, you want to drop down together. Although the picks are coming in, something tells me that they may not last very much longer as the payload keeps getting closer and closer.
Super Polar does take down Avalex, but it does still seem like Modify is doing well. But as I say that, 2 picks coming in for them. The Mercy does go down on the side of Modify. No resurrect for them, but they do lock down this point. 2.5 minutes left for Modify.
Bard is coming up on that blade right now. Jofus did end up using the nano onto Polar Bear to try to keep them up in the fight, but the pick ended up coming in early. And right now, I think with the time that they're wasting right there, is Raiju just goes ahead and accretions Bard right to the face. I don't think they were too worried about the separation that they've kind of created in the team, but it looks like they are going to regroup. They are going to finish this now that Bard has the blade online. Jofus actually almost has a nano in the pocket again. This is going to be rough.
Yeah, especially since on the side of Slipstream there are no defensive ults. There's really no defensive ults. You can try and use the Bob, use the Griddick Flux, but you can try and use the Griddick Flux, but it's already been used. It is going to come out, but it's not going to catch Bard to find any picks. Snurk actually ends up taking him down, and a couple picks coming in on the side of Slipstream, and it may be trouble in paradise for Modify here coming into this fourth map.
That is true. I think maybe I don't know if they're just trying to take it lax. Nope. There we go. Bard's like, nope, not gonna do that Genji thing again. Let's go ahead and swap back over to the far and win this. And I think based on the settings where they've got that payload at, they're in good position to do so. We see Slipstream using the bunker of big rolls once again to try to work out for them, but all it's going to take is one good line of sight from Bard, and it could be all over.
One good line of sight and one good pick is all it could take here. The ult charging up for Snurk is huge, though. That Coalescence can turn a fight. Cajun Wise Guy finding the pick on the Bard is crucial here. Gonna see if the res can come in. Widman will get the resurrect, but Jofus is going to go down, and that is a crucial source of healing. But Bard finds two, takes down the Ash Mercy combo, and Super Polar Bear also finds his counterpart in Red Raiju. Snurk is going to find the pick on a Bard, but I don't know if it'll matter. Two people left on the card for Slipstream. Make it 1, make it 0, and I don't know if anyone's going to be able to touch. That is going to be the match for Modify and Slipstream. Modify taking it 4-0 in a very dominant first showing for Modify, coming as almost a challenge to everyone in the league that they are still here, they are still championship tier potentially, and a challenge coming in to who is going to be able to take them down. And that is the question that we're going to be asking going into these next few weeks, is who is going to be able to take them down.
Well, like I said at the beginning of this, win or lose, it's going to be blame Bard. And truthfully, Bard is to blame for the absolute chaos that happened in tonight's match. You gotta give some props to Hagel as well, just on that hit scan all the time, doing an incredible job with that Ash, getting pick after pick, and very rarely getting countered because the entire team spend most of their time focused on Bard. Let's go ahead and throw it to our player of the match for this evening, our MVP. And K-Wing, I'll go ahead and let you start off. Who do you think deserves your player of the match vote for this evening?
It's so tough coming in, looking at Modify, just with how well all of these players performed, but I'm going to have to go with Bard, and I really hope that he doesn't use it to inflate his ego on the next podcast. But
nope, too late. You already said it. It's already there.
It's just so impossible to not talk about how good Bard was going into just throughout that match, on the Pharah, on the Junkrat, on the Tracer, just whatever he seemed to play. It seemed like Slipstream had almost no answer for it, or no answer that he could not defeat. And it was just a day of easy living for Bard there. And he just has to get my vote for player of the match.
All right. Well, see, I predicted that more than likely you were going to go with Bard just because Bard was doing an incredible job. But it's like when you talk about a marriage, a man is only as good as the woman behind him. And in this case, it was the Mercy that I will be voting for this time around. Whitmitten coming in clutch every single time that Bard went down on that far out. That res was there. Every time they needed healing or the power boost for when they were in the fight, Whitmitten was there every time. So I am giving my player of the match this evening to Whitmitten. So go ahead, blow up in the chat who y'all are looking at for the upcoming for your player of the match this evening. Looking at the schedule for the upcoming week, though, we do have quite a few amazing lineups for the upcoming days. On Thursday, August 6th, we have in the Discord tier their first match of Exodus versus Ignis. on Friday evening around 7 p.m., something like that.
Yeah.
We will be seeing the Discord YouTube match that you'll be able to check out there. It will not be a live match, but you will get to see it nevertheless. Oh, is it Transcendence? It's marked as Discord, so my apologies. Is Barbados? Oh, okay. Sorry. We're looking at the other. Okay. So the YouTube match is Barbados versus Gamma, but then you have it's supposed to be Otaku, but that is not on my list. So let me look at here we go. Tempo versus Otaku Empire for the Transcendence tier on Friday. We didn't update the sheet, but we got you folks. But as I've said before, you don't have to worry about that as long as you hit that heart and punch that bell into oblivion. Like far as just go ahead and barrage that bell button, and then you get notified every time we're online, and then you don't have to worry about that. You can also go to YouTube, search OW Tranquility, so you don't, and subscribe to that channel so you don't miss the additional matches that we're throwing out to you as well. So much amazing Overwatch action going on. There's just I'm just so excited for this season. Season 4 was incredible, and I just cannot wait to see with more additional teams in some of our tiers, new teams in every tier. I am just so excited to see what Season 5 is holding for us.
I'm excited to be a part of it. But yeah, so that is our next cast. So signing off here, I am K-Wing.
And I am Captain Jack, and thank you so much to our Lord and Savior, Cavalier, for producing this evening. We definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And we'll see y'all next time.
See you next time.
I'm NPC, the Tranquility Hammer. Have you lost Overwatch games due to smurfs, leavers, or throwers? Have you been on the same team as Bard? You may be entitled to compensation.
I used to be in silver. Thanks to NPC and the Overwatch Tranquility community gear, I'm now a gold Moira player, spawn camping Ice, the Season 3 Discord tier MVP. Thanks, NPC!
Go to my website right now and let me fight for discounts for you. Go to owtranquility.org and click store, or go to shop.spreadshirt.com/owtranquility.
I've asked to remain anonymous for my safety, but I'm an admin in an Overwatch community. It can be exhausting work. But these shirts, they're so cheap, I have shirts to burn. And now thanks to NPC, I can own the Zoomers, and I can do it in style.
I'm going to hammer down prices of Tranquility merchandise this week. Up to 15%. If you place your order on July 29th or July 30th, you'll get 15% off your entire order. Go to my website now to get the SR and the Tranquility gear that you deserve. Tranquility merchandise does not guarantee victories in Overwatch or increase in skill rating. 15% off, valid on orders placed on July 29th and 30th at Spreadshirt.com.